Rene, what's up?
Hey Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to be doing this interview with you because I know that your journey of improving your English over the last year has
Oh,
been
yeah.
incredible. You've really improved. I've gotten to witness a lot of those improvements myself because we've been working together for, I don't know how many months has it been, like 9 months or something like that?
Yeah, I guess it should be like 9 months or something. It's like a big journey, but I have been improving my English in a really awesome way. Seems like
Yeah.
I'm absolutely another person in
You're
comparison to the
you're
beginning.
another person. That's how you describe it. That's awesome. So why don't we start there? Because in this interview, basically what I want to do is I just want to talk to you about your journey of improving your English, like what worked, what didn't work, and then how your English has helped you advance in your career. And then of course, you just went on a trip to the US to a really important conference. So I'd love to talk about that later on in the video. So first, just to start us off, tell us a little bit about how you learned English and how you started improving even more over this last year.
Okay, so basically, as every people, I have been learning English, or I mean, trying to learn English since I was at the school, then in the high school, and also in the university. And also, I took a course in another institute here in Ecuador, but it was kind of weird because I was studying. I used to be the best student or something like that, but I was unable to establish a conversation with somebody really in English.
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess it was all related with my lack of confidence because my English was not really bad, but it's different when you are just solving a test or something, or conjugating verbs and just writing some
Yeah,
sentences.
it's
And
not the same as real interaction with
absolutely
people.
not. Absolutely not. Because I mean, when you are in a test, you have like a whole context about what the test is. I mean, you have certain topics that you're gonna try in that test, but when you are just talking, I mean, the other person is just trying to establish a communication, trying to communicate their ideas, and you have no idea what is the next sentence or something. So you just need
Yes.
to learn to how to listen and how to answer questions and establish a good communication.
Yeah. So would you say that a year ago, maybe you weren't capable of having a conversation like we are having right now?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
I remember that when I started to work in the company that I am currently working, it was kind of weird for me because I had a really lack of confidence. And when I had to talk with somebody else in the United States, it was like a big mess for me. I used to be really scared, because I was like, oh my gosh, I will do something wrong here.
Yeah. So wait, actually, before we continue, I totally forgot to ask you this, but why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what you do? Because you mentioned you live in Ecuador, so you're a native Spanish speaker. But what is it that you
Yeah.
do?
Okay. So as you know, I am living here in Ecuador. That's a country in South America. So I am native Spanish speaker, and I am currently working for a big company in the States. Actually, our client is from the States, but the company is from London. It's
Oh,
headquartered in
wow, that's
London.
cool.
Yeah, it's in London, but the technical lead is in California, and the guy that is in charge of the businesses is located also in Silicon Valley.
And you're a
And
software developer.
yeah, I am software developer. We are many software developers here in Ecuador. Actually, we have offices here in Quito, is the capital of Ecuador, and also in another city that is Loja. We are working here for clients, in the States, in
Mhm.
London.
So when
That's
you speak with clients, are you speaking with people in the United States or in London?
the most of the time just in United States, but some co-workers are working with some people in London.
So basically, a year ago, you didn't feel confident speaking with the clients in the USA, but today, how do you feel when you speak with them?
Today is like just establish a conversation with another people from the same country. It's a really big change because when I used to be in those meetings, I used to often ask for the help of somebody else just to listen and try to understand. And I used to record the whole conversation so that to repeat
I
over and over
remember
again.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't do that anymore? You don't record the conversations to listen and
No, now I am
oh,
just
wow.
taking a notebook and writing some notes, and that's it, I guess. And the most of the time, I am just establishing a communication, and
I have to say, Rene, that's phenomenal because when I remember when we first started working together, which I think was like in January of this year,
Yeah.
2017, that was like your biggest concern. You were just like, Stephanie, I have these meetings with native English speakers and I don't understand what's going on. And so, we were talking about that. And so now here we are in the end of September and you're like, yeah, I attend the meetings. I understand I don't have to record them anymore. You just take notes and then you're actually able to input. Like before you were just listening and trying to understand. Now you listen, understand, and you're probably able to give feedback and to speak in these meetings. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, like that. It's like a big change because when I used to work here in Ecuador, I used to be like the one in the meetings and all the time providing solutions and giving ideas and things like that.
In
And
your
when I
native language.
yeah, in my native language. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I started to work with this company, it was like really weird because I had some ideas, but I was unable to really express what I was thinking. So it was so full.
Yeah.
But now, I remember we had the last meeting a couple of weeks ago and we were talking really fluent way, and
So cool.
yeah, I was giving them some ideas, also providing feedback, asking some questions that I had. It was
So
really, really cool.
So how did you get to this place in such a short amount of time? Because you were probably stuck in the same place for years, where you pretty much understood English, but you didn't feel fluent or confident. You were stuck there for years and then you had this breakthrough. And now you're like, yeah, I speak with native English speakers. My English isn't perfect, but we communicate and I'm a leader at my company now. And so how did that happen for you?
Yeah, okay. It's absolutely different when you're going to an institute or something to just study English and try to memorize the grammar rules and all that stuff. And it's absolutely different when you are just talking with somebody else. When you started the academy, we started to just communicate, talking about our careers, our
You
professions,
said
what
when I
we are doing
started the
nowadays.
academy.
Yeah, the academy, English Full-Time Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking. I mean, if you want to talk in English, it's your advice. If you want to talk in English, you just have to go ahead and talk in English. That's the only way that you can improve that skill. There isn't any other way. And when I used to do some live videos, I used to play over and over again. And then I figured out what were my faults. And then I started to take notes and then try to correct them. It's really hard because you are making a lot of mistakes all the time. But if you're paying attention to them and trying to fix them, it works.
Yeah, no, that was actually something that I was really impressed by with you. And I think it was our first or our second call, again, months and months ago. But basically, you said, Stephanie, I did my presentation video. I had to do it so many times because I wasn't satisfied with it. But by doing it so many times, I caught so many mistakes and I learned. And I was like, isn't that amazing, Rene? Because this is, I think, what's lacking from a lot of educational systems is the whole experimentation from the students where you guys actually do work and analyze your own work and not necessarily rely 24/7 on a teacher to correct your mistakes. Because a lot of times students are like, oh, teacher, correct me. And it's like, you will find your own mistakes if you just really start looking for them. So I think that that's phenomenal. And for those who are watching and who don't know what the Academy is, the English Full-Time Academy was the first program I ever started online for English full-time. And then we went from an academy to a community. And then I shut down the community and I'm doing other projects now. But don't worry, you guys, I'm not going anywhere. I'll do more programs, projects and communities. But basically in that environment, it was an online group where there would be like coaching and training and feedback, and the students basically were free to interact with each other. And Rene took full advantage of this what it was like an experiment, really. It was a creation. And he just, I remember you did one live video, and your first live video I think was like 2 minutes. Like I do live videos on Facebook. You did one in our group, and then your next video was like 3 minutes, your next video was 4 minutes, your next video was 7 minutes, and pretty soon you were just like, hey, you guys, you started leading the group. Like everybody needs to do this. This is amazing. I feel so confident. And a few days ago you made a video, I think that was 17 minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is on fire.
Yeah, when you're just starting, it's kind of really awful when you don't, because you feel you don't have something to say, and you are just thinking in, oh my gosh, I will do a mistake, and
Yeah.
another one. But then you're starting to just speak and communicate things that would be really words for other people, and then you just start to talk and in an absolutely natural way.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think that you're such a good example for other people because you really show people that confidence is a mindset thing. Like
yeah,
right now we're talking and you understand me perfectly, but you're making some mistakes and your pronunciation isn't perfect, but it's like who cares? We're having an awesome conversation and you're confident. You're more confident than other people out there who have English that's technically better than yours. Do you know what I mean? And so, but
yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
everyone needs. Everyone needs this kind of confidence that you've developed because now you can go out there, you can work for, an English speaking company, you can network with other English speakers, you can talk with the clients, you can be a leader in your industry, and English is no longer holding you back. And you'll keep improving it as you go along, but the point is to be able to interact confidently with others. And I think you really, truly demonstrate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I have one friend of mine that he is studying in an institute that is really expensive here in Quito. Actually, is one of the best ones here. But I feel he has a really big lack of confidence because his English is awesome, it's perfect. He knows a lot of grammar rules. He's all the time with a big book, all the time making exercises and things like that. But when he has to talk, it has a big problem.
Yeah. And
That's terrible. I mean, his English is better than mine, but I don't know why he's not using it.
but you see why confidence is so important. It's everything because I know what this is like because as I, tell everybody, I went through this when I was learning Spanish. I was like you, I was the best one in my class and I was like your friend. My Spanish was perfect, but I did not have confidence. And even though maybe I was able to speak well, that lack of confidence held me back from so many opportunities. I wouldn't speak up. I wouldn't share my ideas. And it was a huge struggle. It took me years to overcome it. And I didn't have anybody helping me. But confidence is like the one thing that they don't teach you or help you with in English institutes. It's always teaching, teaching, teaching. But the real world practice, building the confidence and all that stuff, it's missing, it's lacking. So obviously when I created English full time, that was kind of like my goal. I understood. I was like, okay, we need confidence. Rene, I've done a lot of traveling and I see so many English speakers around the world who don't even identify as English speakers. They still think they're English learners. And I look at them and I go, you're an English speaker. We're speaking English right now. You're understanding me. Like, give yourself some credit and give yourself some permission to call yourself an English speaker. And yeah, again, you'll keep improving as you go, but at some point you have to cross over. And usually the crossover happens in your mind. It's when you decide, yeah, I speak English. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like you are just missing a lot of opportunities because you don't want to use your English. It's as you said, my English is not perfect. I'm making a lot of mistakes, but right now I don't really care about those mistakes. I am
Yes.
just trying to communicate my ideas and try to really be like effective in the things that I am doing.
Exactly. And speaking of being effective in the things that you're doing, I want you to tell us now about the conference in the USA because you wrote to me about that conference and I was so happy for you because you're like, Stephanie, I was able to ask questions. And so just tell us about this conference.
I guess that conference was like the graduation of your program or something for me. Because, we were talking with other non-native speakers in the group and we were growing our confidence and things like that. And then was like the big test for me when the boss of my company arrived to the company, to Ecuador a couple of months ago, and he had a conversation with me. We were talking like 1 hour or so, and he's from California. It was like a big test for me. Then he said, okay, you're ready. You can go to the conference and I'm going to buy the tickets for you. And then,
Wow. Wait, stop.
yeah,
That's huge. That's huge
yeah,
because he felt that you were ready with your English, your fluency, your confidence. The boss of the company, sent you, bought the ticket for you so you could have this amazing experience. Like, this is what I try to tell people. Like, English will give you so many opportunities, but you have to
yes.
go after them. So, okay, sorry. Sorry for interrupting. It's
No,
just such
no,
a
no,
great
that's right. You're right.
story.
No, you're right. Absolutely. Then after that was like, okay, I am doing awesome here in English. And then I had to go to States and then try to see how my English is. But then they're in a country that all the people is speaking in English.
Uh-huh.
So then I went to this conference that was in New York. And the first thing when I arrived to States, I mean to New York, was, oh my gosh, I'm here. What I am gonna do? So I am alone here. I was with nobody else. An airport in another country, you alone was, oh my gosh, what I'm gonna do? So I just started to see how the things are, how the people are communicating. In New York, the people is speaking a lot of languages. People talking in Chinese,
And
in
you met
English, in
you
Spanish.
met Erica
Wow.
there too, right?
Yes, I met Erika also there.
Okay.
It was
So
awesome also. Yeah.
Erica was another person from our academy group, and Erica's awesome. So shout out to Erica. And
Yeah.
she lives in New York, and she's just like, Rene, you're coming to New York here, let's hang out. And you guys had a blast, right?
Yeah. Okay. It was the first day that then when I arrived to New York, I remember when I was leaving the airport, I didn't have idea what I will do, because I just started to read all the cards that were there about the taxis and things like that. And then I was talking with somebody else from Indonesia or something, and then he
Mm-hmm.
told me that he can help me with a taxi. We were talking in English, in a really harsh English, because his English was also kind of hard to understand.
Yeah, it was a struggle.
Yeah. And then the taxi arrived there, and it was a big guy from New York, and he was talking to me about how much is it and things like that. And then we were talking a little bit. I was scared. you know then I remember that I had brought some tickets to go and visit the Statue of Liberty. And I just arrived to New York and without idea about where I was or something. And then I asked for somebody else how to get Battery Park, that is a park that is really close to the Liberty Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was, oh my gosh, he was giving me directions about how to get that park. And then I took the metro. I got lost there, because the New York City's metro is huge.
Oh
It's
yeah.
huge. Yeah, but then I was able to get there and visit the Statue of Liberty. And I was really excited. I was doing some videos, taking a lot of pictures. It was amazing because of it. And then at night, I had a dinner with Erika. And we were talking about our struggles and also about how amazing your community is and things like that. It was awesome, meeting a person, but not just through the webcam or something, but in
Yeah.
person. It
I
was
think
absolutely great.
Yeah, I think that to me was, first of all, it was a dream come true, because when I started my academy and community, what was it, like over a year ago, I was like, I want to bring people together from all around the world, help them improve their English. And then hopefully, eventually, people can become friends and meet in real life. And that's literally what happened to you guys. And you guys surprised me because I had no idea you were planning on meeting up. And then you took a picture and you put it in our group. And I was like, oh my gosh, I started showing it to everybody. I don't remember who I was with, my family, I'm sure. But I was just like, look, you guys, look. So no, that was phenomenal that you guys got to meet up there, having met in our community and then, gotten to know each other and become friends and then meet in real life. Oh my gosh. And all of it is just English. It's how English can bring people together. So I get really excited, especially when I see like the success of the people that I work with. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome. As I know that Erika was there, I was feeling like, okay, I have one friend in this country, and that's awesome.
Yeah, even that
Yeah.
gives you like peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the next day, I had to assist that conference, and it was great. I remember when I arrived there, I was, oh my gosh, this is like the big conference for developers, and I am here. Wow, I
What name?
never
What was
had
the name of
idea.
the conference?
It's QCon. It's
QCon?
QCon. Yeah, that one is celebrated also in Brazil, in London, in San Francisco, and in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So now I was there and I was really, well, I don't know how to express that. I was just looking to the people that was arriving there, looking to the speakers. Many of them was like the big ones for me. And I used to just watch their videos or read their books or something or their blogs. And then I was there with them,
Wow,
It was,
that's
oh
so
my
cool.
God. Yeah, it was so cool. And when I attended the first session, it was awesome because it was okay. We are doing many things in the good way, but we have to fix many other things. And I was just writing some notes. And then I started to attend to other and another session. And then I was in a session that was really technical, and I had a lot of questions to that guy. And I was thinking, okay, I have a lot of questions for him. This will be the unique chance that I will have to talk with somebody like him, and
Mm-hmm.
ask these questions. So I had to just go ahead and ask him. But my English is not perfect, but it was like a big mess in my mind,
You're
And
just
then,
like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
yeah. Okay, then I just said for myself, this will be the unique chance that you will have to talk with this guy, probably. So you just have to do it. If you make mistakes, probably nobody will remember it, or you won't see to nobody else, in your whole life. So I
Yeah,
just
you'll never see them again. That's exactly what I tell
yeah.
myself too. When I have to do something scary or embarrassing, I'm like, they'll never know me or see me ever again.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just started to talk with them, asking questions, and it was awesome. They were able to understand me. I don't know if my questions were well formed or not, but they were able to understand me and answer my questions. And then after the meetings, also, we were just drinking a coffee with them and asking some questions. It was absolutely awesome. It was phenomenal.
I'm sure that that entire experience just did wonders for your overall confidence because you were already probably feeling pretty confident after having practiced, with the people in our group, and you had made so many improvements. But then, like you said, this was the test and you
Yeah.
realized it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So you just decided to go for it. And that is like the difference, I think, between success and failure in English or in a language, because what happens to a lot of people is they get the opportunity, but then they get scared. And so then they don't do it. But that's the moment when you have to say, it doesn't matter, I'll never see these people again, or whatever you have to tell yourself in your mind to make yourself brave enough to overcome your fears. Because once you overcome them, that's like when you go over like the hardest part, the mountaintop, whatever. And on the other side, it's just beautiful because you feel so accomplished, and it gives you the confidence and the courage to go on and to do more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Then, in that conference, then at the lunchtime, I was just looking to so many people, from many countries around the world, and I just started to sit together them and just establish conversation, and it was awesome also because I was able to meet people from all many people from South America, but people also from Germany, from India, from states, many states from United States, Philadelphia, California, Florida. Wow, I don't remember.
And you just started talking with everyone. That's,
Yeah, we were talking about
yeah.
just it was awesome.
No, it
It was
is. It
really
is
awesome.
because, like you said, just a year ago, and actually, you went to this conference, I think, like a month or two ago. So, literally, like 6 months ago, you probably weren't prepared for something like this. But now you went, it was amazing. You had all these breakthroughs. And I know, and that that moment was very important for you and for your entire career because you have even bigger goals and more things that you want to achieve. So, what's your next step? What do you have your eye on next? What do you want to do next in your career?
Okay, after attend to this conference, I went to visit our client offices also, and then I was able to figure out that the environment that they are working is absolutely different than the one that we have. Then I just started to think that we had to transform the whole environment that we have here in Ecuador and make it more like an environment from states.
Do you mean like it's more productive, more organized, or what do you mean?
In all aspects, actually, because the people in the States is absolutely more organized in the things that they have. They are owning their products that they are building. They are not wasting any minutes in the whole day. They are all the time doing productive things. And also in that conference, I was able to gather a lot of knowledge to
That's,
Ecuador, and
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was awesome. And
So
then
basically, you want to like take the ideas and everything that you learned and observe there, and you want to start implementing them where you're at to help,
yeah,
your company, your country, everything move forward.
yeah, absolutely. Actually, I gave like 4 or 5 trainings here for the company here in
Trainings?
Ecuador. Yeah, trainings
Mm-hmm.
about the same topics that I learned there. And since we have one guy that is from Iran and he speaks just in English, I had to make those trainings also in English.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing also here because here in Ecuador there are many Spanish speakers just, and in the company too. But since he just speaks in English, I made those trainings in English, and it was an absolutely other story that we can talk in another
No,
conversation.
but that sounds like an awesome project. Again, that a year ago you probably weren't prepared for. So it seems like you've made some really, really incredible strides in your English and in your career, over the last 6 months to a year. So I think that's awesome. I bet it feels phenomenal. I know there's awesome things in store for you. So what tips do you have for other English learners that are maybe where you were a year ago? Like, if you could give them advice, what would you tell them?
Okay, you just have to take the challenges. If you have challenges in your life, you just have to go for them and take them, and then just work really hard to really achieve all the goals that you have in your life. All the goals that I used to have like 1 year ago were related with English stuff, so I decided to take them. Just look as crazy for a company from USA and work with them, and then I only had to use my English. It was not perfect. It's not perfect today, but you just have to use it. You just have to take challenges. You just have to don't pay attention to the mistakes that you are making. Just go for it. If you want to get something, just go for it. That's the advice that I can give to
Well, I
whatever
know,
other
I
people.
think that is really great advice, Renee. And I mean, it's so, so simple, but again, everything is in our mind. We hold ourselves back, I think, from so much sometimes just because of fear or excuses, and
We have
so
excuses for everything.
say that again.
If you want, you can have excuses for everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. But I think with the internet, with social media, with the way that we're now able to connect to other people around the world, there's no excuse really. There's so much great information on the internet, and then you just need to practice your English, speak with other people. And like you did, you joined a program that really helped. So when you see the opportunity for something like that, to take it and to realize also that traditional language education can help you in many ways. It can teach you vocabulary and grammar, but at some point you have to cross over and start really using English in the real world, so to speak, even if that just means on social media with other English learners and other English speakers.
Yeah, but that kind of vocabulary that you're learning in the institutes is not really helpful because you're just learning the words and learning the translation into your native language, but you are not using them. So you just lost them really easy, in a really easy
Yeah.
way.
Well, I
That's kind of
know I know the struggle too, because like I said, I've spent years doing the traditional learning method, and it wasn't until I started speaking Spanish with other Spanish speakers, it was like boom, fluency just happened. I didn't even have to really even try. That just immersion method works so well because your brain, the way it tries to communicate, it forces you to think in another language. And like right now I'm in Italy, and the other day we were hanging out with someone who is Italian and doesn't speak English or Spanish. I have no idea how or when I learned so much Italian, but I was talking in Italian and he was
wow.
understanding me. And I mean, I wasn't speaking
Wow.
perfectly at all, but that's what it is. We need to have the real communication with each other. So anyways, Renee, is there anything else you would like to share with us? Any last thoughts that you have?
No, I guess as I told you before, I just have to say you thanks because in this year my whole life changed. I mean, a lot. I have another personality with the people speaking in English. I had those chances that were awesome. I was visiting a lot of cities there in the States. I mean, I had like the whole bunch of dreams that I used to have in my mind when I was a child. I was able to achieve, and now I am going for other ones. You changed my mind absolutely. So just thank you.
You are welcome. Well, thank you also for, I guess, believing in me and joining my program when I first launched, because you took a leap of faith there and it worked. So that's awesome. And it makes me really happy to hear that you achieved your dreams. and that now you're creating new ones. And I want everyone to really hear that and know that it's like you have dreams in your mind right now. You can totally accomplish those within maybe 6 months, a year, a couple years, whatever it is. You can reach those goals, and then you'll be creating new goals, things you can't even imagine. I like to say, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know where you're going to be, because you have to accomplish things first, and then more opportunities will come to you. So Rene, thank you so much for sharing this information with us. I look forward to following your journey and to learning more about the many awesome things that you do, because I know you're going to continue doing amazing things. So thank you for joining us, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, see you.
All
Have a
right.
nice day, Steph. Thanks to
Bye-bye.
you.